Picture a quiet street in a small German town on a Sunday afternoon. A 15-year-old Volkswagen Golf sits parked outside a modest two-story house with simple curtains in the window. Next door, a brand new BMW gleams in the driveway of a house that looks almost identical from the outside. If I asked you which neighbor was wealthier, most people would point straight at the BMW. And in Germany, that guess is very often wrong. The owner of the old Golf might be sitting on a portfolio worth €500,000. The owner of the shiny BMW might be 3 years into a 5-year loan he can barely afford. This is the strange secret hiding inside German wealth culture today. The richest Germans often look like they have almost nothing. And the people drowning in debt are frequently the ones who look like they have already made it. So why does Germany, one of the wealthiest nations in Europe, run on this strange contradiction? That question is exactly what this video is going to answer. Because looking broke on purpose has quietly become the real German wealth strategy. And once you understand why, you will never look at your neighbor's driveway the same way again. Let's start with the numbers, because they tell a story most people never hear. The average German household actually holds less in stocks than you might expect for such a rich country. For decades, Germans have preferred savings accounts and life insurance over the stock market. This habit is now changing fast, especially among younger Germans chasing ETFs and dividend income. But here's the twist that surprises almost everyone outside Germany. The Germans actually building serious wealth are rarely the ones driving the newest cars. A huge number of self-made German millionaires still drive cars that are 8, 10, even 15 years old. They live in apartments that are clean and comfortable, but never flashy or oversized. Meanwhile, a large share of Germans leasing premium cars are stretching their monthly budget to the absolute limit. Car leasing in Germany has exploded over the last decade, especially among middle-income earners. A new BMW or Mercedes lease can easily eat €400 to €600 every single month. That single payment can quietly swallow the exact amount that should be going into an ETF savings plan. This is the trap so many Germans fall into without even noticing it happening. They sign the lease, feel the status lift for a few weeks, and then it simply becomes normal. Economists call this the hedonic treadmill, and it runs just as fast in Germany as anywhere else. The car stops feeling special, but the payment never stops being real. Now let's talk about the real cost hiding underneath that lease, because it is brutal. That €400 a month, if invested instead in a low-cost MSCI World ETF, grows dramatically over time. At a long-term average return of around 7% after inflation, that habit compounds into real wealth. Over 20 years, that same monthly amount can grow into well over €200,000. So the real choice was never simply nice car or boring car. The real choice was status today or financial freedom 20 years from now. And the younger you are when this clicks, the more dramatic the difference becomes. A 25-year-old who skips the lease and invests instead is quietly buying their own future retirement. Now compare that to the millionaire neighbor with the old Golf parked outside. Many wealthy Germans deliberately avoid showing their money, and this is not an accident. There is even a cultural concept for this called Dezenter Reichtum, or decent, quiet wealth. Showing off money openly is still seen by many older Germans as tasteless and almost embarrassing. This cultural discomfort with visible wealth actually pushes serious money toward dividend stocks and ETFs instead of luxury goods. Many wealthy German families quietly hold significant positions in dividend-paying companies like Allianz, Siemens, or BASF. These dividend payments arrive quarterly or annually, often without anyone outside the family ever knowing they exist. The money simply gets reinvested, compounding quietly year after year while the house and car stay exactly the same. This is the German version of stealth wealth, and it is far older than the American version most people online discuss. It was never about flashy minimalism or trendy frugality content. It was simply the old German instinct to never show your hand. Now let's look at what is actually happening to ordinary income earners across Germany right now. German household debt has been rising steadily, driven largely by consumer loans and car financing. Rising rents in major cities like Munich, Berlin, and Frankfurt are eating a larger share of monthly salaries than ever before. Energy costs surged dramatically over the past few years, squeezing household budgets even further. A surprising number of middle-income German earners report having very little left over by the end of each month. This mirrors a pattern seen across many wealthy nations, where income rises but spending quietly rises even faster. A salary increase in Germany often gets absorbed almost immediately by a bigger apartment or a newer car. The raise that should have built freedom, instead, built another stack of fixed monthly obligations. This is lifestyle inflation, and it is just as dangerous in Munich as it is anywhere else in the world. Meanwhile, the Germans quietly building real wealth follow a completely different and much simpler set of habits. The first habit is automating the ETF savings plan, known in Germany as the Sparplan, before any spending happens. Many banks and brokers allow automatic monthly transfers directly into a diversified ETF, often for as little as 25 euros. This habit removes willpower from the equation entirely, because the money disappears before it ever feels spendable. The second habit is treating cars and electronics as tools, not as identity statements to show the neighborhood. A car that still runs reliably has no reason to be replaced just because a newer model exists. The third habit is defining enough early. Instead of letting every salary increase quietly raise the bar forever. A person who decides that a modest apartment and a reliable used car are genuinely enough can build wealth shockingly fast. The fourth habit is choosing dividend-paying companies and broad ETFs over chasing speculative trends or trading apps. Dividend income arriving steadily every quarter creates a sense of financial calm that speculation almost never provides. The fifth habit, and perhaps the most German of them all, is simply staying quiet about the money entirely. No bragging, no flashy posts, no pressure to prove anything to neighbors, co-workers, or distant relatives. This silence is not modesty for its own sake. It is strategy, because attention invites pressure to spend more. Once you understand this pattern, you start seeing your own street completely differently. The house with the new Audi and the freshly renovated kitchen might be deeply leveraged and one bad month from trouble. The quiet neighbor with the old Golf and the quiet evenings might be sitting on a portfolio worth far more than you imagine. You genuinely cannot tell from the outside, and that is exactly the point wealthy Germans are counting on. Income in Germany is loud, but net worth in Germany stays almost completely silent. And the gap between what people earn and what people actually keep is where real freedom quietly gets built. So the next time you see a brand new luxury car parked outside an ordinary German house, remember this video. The real wealth in Germany rarely announces itself with a badge, a logo, or a freshly leased vehicle. It builds quietly, dividend by dividend, ETF contribution by ETF contribution, year after unremarkable year. And the Germans who understand this game the best are usually the ones nobody ever suspects of having any money at all.